Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends X-Men 20th Anniversary Amazon exclusive, Wolverine. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today I am getting my first taste of this 20th anniversary X-Men line from Marvel Legends. As in front of me I have the white tank top Amazon exclusive Wolverine, and to be honest, out of the two Wolverines we're getting, I think this is a more iconic look for Logan. This has X2 vibes all day, and yeah, looking forward to this one. Also has like Days of Future Past vibes because he's got the bone claws actually packed on the figure, but we still get the metal claws as well packed in there. Two interchangeable heads, one gritting teeth, one a bit more plain. Both definitely look like Hugh Jackman though. I was very impressed with these when I got it in person. So yeah, I'm excited for this whole 20th anniversary line. It's still crazy that all these years later, we're getting updated Marvel Legends to add to the shelf so we can cross universes ourselves. But yeah, the packaging is nice. We're seeing this sort of design, this silhouette design on all of these 20th anniversary figures now. And that is clearly a silhouette of Hugh Jackman, but no wave association, no nothing. It's just a silhouette and it says Wolverine, same on the side. And yeah, we get the X logo on the front, Wolverine, the blue and the yellow. But without further ado, let's open him up. So here we have Logan out of the box, and I must admit I've only had him out for a little bit and I'm already very impressed. I forgot that this figure actually has the pinless technology, so when I zoom in I'll show you there's no pins at all, but the articulation remains. He feels sturdy. I don't know if they're using a different plastic. It just seems like a very well made action figure. Both head sculpts definitely look like Hugh Jackman. These dog tags are a separate piece. The bone claws look nice. The metal claws look nice. They're not warped or look funny out of the box. They actually look nicely sculpted in the figure. Yeah, I really don't have much anything bad to say about it from my first thoughts, but let's take a closer look and see what we think. So you tell me, does that look like Hugh Jackman? I definitely think it does, and I don't think the camera does it justice. Honestly, in person it looks so nice. Those mutton chops, the hairstyle is perfect with the little peaks there to sort of represent Wolverine, with a little flare as well on the forehead. And yeah, it just looks really, really nice from all angles. Very happy with this head sculpt. As I said, Wolverine is probably one of the most customized figures we've had in a long time, because everybody wanted a Hugh Jackman Wolverine for their shelves. And now we finally have one. This one does not disappoint at all. So before we have a look at the rest of the figure, we may as well swap those heads. So here we have the gritted teeth head, and this one screams Wolverine again. The hairstyle is just a slight bit different on the forehead. The gritted teeth look nice. The mutton chops are still there. The eyebrows are angry. Again, it looks like Hugh Jackman, and again, I don't think the cameras do it justice. Honestly, in person, you guys are going to be very impressed with this one. You can already put this face sculpt on and get him in some poses, and you know without a doubt it's going to look intimidating on the shelf with the rest of your figures. So yeah, both of these head sculpts are very, very impressive. So he comes packed with these bone claws that we see in Days of Future Past, when Wolverine's consciousness is passed into his past self, and he wakes up out of bed and he attacks these people with his bone claws, and these look very nice. Again, they're sculpted very nicely as well, with like a bony, sort of horribly yellowy, bonish colour. And they're all knobbly as well. They've got like sculpted detail on there, and they're embedded in the fists very nicely, to be fair. I hope that's coming across well on camera. But yeah, they look very good, like dirty nails. But both of these look good. As I said, they didn't come out warped in the packaging. They actually look really good. Nice space in between them. They've got points as well. I think they've done a very good job with these, to be honest. Very good. But if you don't want Wolverine with his bone claws, he does also come with the more classic, the iconic metal claws. And again, these look great. I don't know what Hasbro are doing different, but again, straight out the box, these guys ain't warped. There's nice space in between them, decent paint. They seem thicker than previous claws as well, and this guy is going to look so good posed up with these claws ready to battle. And if I just quickly show you these claws, you'll see what I mean. Like, the space in between them is very nice, not too warped. There is a bit of like shape to them. They're like they curve towards the end, like Wolverines do in the film. And yeah, these look so good. And you're going to be able to get him in such cool poses. Obviously, I've changed the face, and again, just makes him look so much more dynamic posed on the shelf. And while we're zoomed in, we may as well talk about it. Look at this. Shoulder joints, double jointed elbows, no problem at all. And no pins. Not a single pin. And they're not hiding on the inside of the figure either. There's no pins. Pinless technology in play, people. So this is technically my first pinless Marvel Legend. So I don't know if they're using different plastic or what type of technology. The pins are hidden between another layer of plastic. Who knows? But again, does not hinder articulation. Look at that for range. Very good range. Can't complain of that at all. And again, the tank top actually hides the cut of the butterfly joint as well. So not only does he have that, he has this butterfly joint. So you can literally get Wolverine posed up however you want him. In those more classic sort of Wolverine poses which we're known for. So again, I'm not the guy you come to for posing action figures, but again, if I can even get Wolverine in a decent pose, you know this figure's got a good range. And again, you can get his arms all the way back, so you can get him jumping off balconies, attacking enemies and whatnot, like we do see in the films. But he's got an ab crunch, which is pretty good. And again, really good back as well. So again, those jumping poses are going to look good. Great range on the legs. Like, I can't remember Wolverine being this acrobatic, but some great range there. And Robo is going to love this. Look at this double jointed knees. Actually can kick his own ass, no problem at all. And the pins are actually still there on the feet. On the double jointed knees, sorry. So I don't know what the difference is between the knees and the elbows, why one has pinless and one doesn't. I'm not complaining about it because, as I said, it doesn't hinder the articulation for me. And then, of course, you've got ankle pivot at the bottom as well. So again, I'm not usually someone who goes over articulation, but showing off that pinless technology, this figure, I don't know, it just feels new. I don't know if, I don't know if they're new plastic or what, but very impressed with just the build of this figure. The articulation is nice. The articulation and the accessories are spot on for every pose we're going to want to get our Wolverine in. There is a swivel there hidden at the cut of the waist as well. So I know a lot of people are liking that rocker at the minute, but I do think with this, you're going to be able to still get Wolverine in all the poses you want to. The jeans, while we're here, are just all one piece. Obviously, that bout is sculpted on there with some nice jean sort of texture painted. Undoubtedly, obviously, jeans. And we've got the brown shoes. So again, nothing crazy, just a simple outfit for Wolverine. But yeah, all the way around, even on the back, no sloppy paint, everything looks good. There's a slight bit of yellow lines on the tank top, but that's obviously intentional. There is a bit of sculpted sort of detail of just vertical lines going down and then a bit of yellow, but I don't think that's gravy or something that Wolverine spilt down his top. I do think that's just to give it a bit of contrast. But yeah, bout buckle, bout jeans. Simple outfit, but it screams Wolverine. Obviously, if you don't like the dog collars, you can take these off, not a problem at all. They literally just pop off over his head, and I don't think there's any detail on there. There's some sort of sculpted imprint there, but I don't think we can see what it says. So the only thing we didn't get, which would have been a nice pack-in, are just a set of hands without the claws for our incognito Wolverine, but I'm not bothered about that. Honestly, I'm going to pose mine on the shelf with the claws anyway, so they're probably just sat in a box, but I know people like options for ACBA and stuff like that. But I keep swapping the heads because both heads look great. I can't decide how I'm going to have him posed on the shelf, but again, if I can get this guy looking good, then it's going to be so easy. But yeah, bravo Hasbro, great job. So jumping into some comparisons, here we have Wolverine compared to Wolverine and Wolverine. So obviously this is movies versus comics, and the first thing you think is, wow, Hugh Jackman is very tall compared to these Wolverines. But to be honest, that's how he was portrayed in the film. That's why Hugh Jackman's casting was so controversial all those years ago, because he wasn't the short version of Wolverine. But he is obviously now going to be synonymous with this character regardless. So this is an actual accurate version of how he was in the film. So it may not be the short Wolverine we're used to in the comics, but that's how he was in the films, and it does look good just to see this. It's a shame that we never seen Hugh Jackman in this classic outfit, but now we can. Okay, so that looks a little bit ridiculous. Those heads are way too big for those bodies, but it is still funny just to pop those heads on there to see what could have been with Hugh Jackman in this classic outfit. But yeah, that just looks pretty funny. They look like bobbleheads, to be fair. Here we have our white tank top comic versus movie Wolverine comparison, and it's fun to see both of these together, as the comic version of Wolverine is obviously a lot shorter than the Hugh Jackman version of Wolverine, but it is good to see movie versus comic here together. And as you can see, Hugh Jackman is much taller than the comic version of Wolverine, but they're both wearing the jeans. They've both got the brown belt with the gold belt buckle, and yeah, the tank top's even got the same vertical lines on. So maybe we could take these dog tags and put them on this version of Wolverine as well. And just funny to see there is comic versus movie. And we can try a head swap, but I guarantee you it looks a bit funky. As expected, that looks ridiculous. Here we have them compared to Old Man Logan and Weapon X. And again, obviously these are comic versions, so they're a lot shorter, but it is still fun just to see Hugh Jackman's version of Wolverine compared to these classic comic designs. Now we can pretend that the Hugh Jackman version of Wolverine turned up at the end of Endgame to help the Avengers defeat Thanos, and now we can play that fantasy on our shelves as this crossover in action figure form, as here we have Hugh Jackman with Iron Man and Cap. Now what's interesting about this is that he seems way too tall to compared with these two. So I don't think Hugh Jackman is taller than Chris Evans. He may be taller than Robert Downey Jr., but I think Chris Evans should be at about the same scale. But this Wolverine figure just seems bigger and bulkier and thicker than even Iron Man's body with all that armor on. So I do think that these new X-Men 20th anniversary figures are probably going to fit in scale best together rather than integrating them with your MCU on the shelf. So I'm definitely going to find a place on my shelf to just display the X-Men figures as their own little section, because I don't think, unfortunately, we can cross over Hugh Jackman with the Avengers cast. But it is still fun just to fantasize on the shelf of what could have been. So final thoughts, this is a great Wolverine action figure. Honestly, the pictures online don't do it justice. Having it in hand is so much better. That pinless technology on the shoulders is a nice touch and makes me excited for the future of Hasbro Marvel Legends. It scares me at the same time that I might have to rebuy every figure with the pinless technology, but I guess that's the fun of collecting. You're constantly upgrading these characters. But let's be honest, Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine is going to be iconic for years. A lot of us have grew up with that, and he is going to be our Wolverine for a very long time, and it is now nice to have that represented in figure form on our displays, and I think people are going to be very happy with this. I can't wait for the ACBA community to get their hands on this as well, because I think it's going to photography very great with both sets of hands and claws and those interchangeable heads. Both look like Hugh Jackman. Again, pictures online don't do it justice. Wait till you get it in hand. But yes, overall, very happy with this figure, and if anything, it makes me excited for the rest of this X-Men 20th anniversary line that we're getting. So as always, you let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for this Wolverine figure? Are you happy that we're finally getting a decent Hugh Jackman version of Wolverine for our collections? I know he's not the first one, but I definitely think this is the best one without any doubt. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and if you want to see more reviews, as I do plan on getting all of these new X-Men figures, you know what to do. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, 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 hit that subscribe button. And if you are in a position to support the channel that little bit more, there is a Patreon links in the description below. All the support is appreciated. But as always, people, my name is Dan W, and I will, of course, see you on the next one. Bob.